Welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we examine the final hours of Anne Boleyn, the second wife of King Henry VIII. Her execution on May 19, 1536, shocked England and became one of the most infamous moments in Tudor history. But what really happened in those last 24 hours? Why was the execution delayed? What was Anne's state of mind? Let's explore these questions using the accounts of historians like Alison, Weir, Ives, G.W. Bernard and Eustace Chapuys, the ambassador who reported directly from the Tudor court. Anne Boleyn was arrested on May 2, 1536. She was accused of adultery, incest and treason. 5 men were charged alongside her, including her own brother, George Boleyn. The charges, as most historians agree, were likely false and politically motivated. According to historian Ives, in The Life and Death of Anne Boleyn, there was no concrete evidence for the accusations. Anne's enemies, especially Thomas Cromwell, needed her removed for political reasons. She had failed to give the king a male heir and had made many enemies at court. The trial was held on May 15th at the Tower of London. Anne was found guilty and sentenced to death. According to Alison Weir's book, The Lady in the Tower, Anne was originally to be burned, but Henry VIII changed the sentence to beheading by a French swordsman, which was considered a more merciful method. On May 18, 1536, Anne Boleyn prepared for what she believed would be her final day. Early in the morning, she was taken to confession by her almoner, John Skip. Then she received the Eucharist and spent most of the day praying. According to Eustace Chapuys, the Imperial ambassador, Anne maintained her innocence until the end. He wrote in a dispatch, she said she had always been faithful to the king, and that she was prepared to die. Her execution was originally scheduled for 9 a.m., but something strange happened. It was delayed, without explanation, until noon. Anne waited in her chambers, speaking calmly with her ladies-in-waiting. She even joked about her little neck, as Chapuys records. This was likely a sign of nervous courage. Later in the day, she received word that the execution was postponed until May 19th. Alison Weir explains that the swordsman from Calais, who was to perform the execution, had not yet arrived or needed additional time. It was also possible that Henry VIII wanted to avoid any public backlash by controlling the time precisely. Anne reportedly took the news with grace, though she knew this meant she would spend one more night anticipating death. At dawn on May 19, 1536, Anne Boleyn rose early. She dressed in a grey damask gown trimmed with fur and a red petticoat beneath, red being the colour of martyrdom in the Catholic tradition. Some sources say she remained calm and composed. According to Chapuys, Anne said she would die with a clear conscience and that she was ready to meet God. Around 8 a.m. she was led out of her quarters and taken to the scaffold erected within the Tower grounds. A small crowd had gathered, perhaps 1,000 people. Anne gave a short speech avoiding any criticism of the king. She said, "I am come hither to die. I pray God save the king and send him long to reign over you. For to me he was always a good and gentle sovereign lord." She knelt upright, without a block, and was blindfolded. The French swordsman brought from Calais for this special purpose struck swiftly and cleanly. Anne's body and head were wrapped in a white cloth and placed in an arrow chest due to the lack of a proper coffin. She was buried in the chapel of St. Peter ad Vincula within the Tower. Henry VIII married Jane Seymour just 11 days later on May 30th. Anne Boleyn's final hours were filled with fear, faith and dignity. Whether or not the charges were true, she faced death with courage. Most modern historians agree she was a victim of court politics, her fall orchestrated by powerful men and perhaps encouraged by a king who had grown tired of her. As Ives wrote, Anne was not destroyed for what she did, but for who she was. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, please like, comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more informative videos.